The Little Mermaid's Voyage. The world was still. The night sky, a vast expanse of twinkling stars, mirrored itself upon the calm waters of the ocean. The moonlight shimmered, casting a silvery glow upon the waves, making them appear as if they were made of liquid silver. The gentle lapping of the waves against the shore was the only sound that broke the silence of the night. It was a sound that was both calming and mysterious, a sound that held within it the secrets of the deep. In the heart of this vast ocean, far beneath the surface, lay a kingdom like no other, a kingdom of coral palaces, of shimmering fish, and of tales as old as time. This was the realm of the merfolk, and at the center of it all was the Little Mermaid, a princess with a spirit as boundless as the seas she called home. Most of us know the tale of the Little Mermaid, a story of love, sacrifice, and transformation. A young mermaid princess, captivated by the world of humans, trades her voice for a chance at true love. But this story isn't about that chapter of her life. No, this is about what came after. For even after regaining her voice and returning to her oceanic abode, the Little Mermaid's heart remained restless. The vastness of the ocean was no longer enough for her. She yearned for the vastness of the world. As a child, the Little Mermaid would often swim to the surface, her head just above the water, and watch the ships sail by. She would listen to the sailors' songs, their tales of far-off lands, of mountains that touched the sky, of deserts where the sand seemed to go on forever, of forests dense with mystery. Each story was a window to a world she had never seen, and with every tale, her desire to explore grew stronger. Her grandmother would often tell her stories of the ancient merfolk, who would travel from one end of the ocean to the other, meeting creatures of all kinds, from the giant whales of the Arctic to the colorful fish of the tropics. The ocean, her grandmother would say, is a world in itself, with its own stories, its own mysteries. But beyond the ocean there's another world, a world of land, of air, of sky, and just as we have our tales, so do they. The Little Mermaid's heart ached with wanderlust. She had tasted the world of humans, had walked among them, had felt the earth beneath her feet, but there was so much more she hadn't seen, so much more she hadn't experienced. The world was vast, and she was but a tiny speck in it. But she was determined to make her mark, to weave her own tale. Night after night she would swim to the surface, gaze at the stars, and dream. Dream of the lands she would visit, the cultures she would experience, the adventures she would have. And as the waves whispered their age-old secrets to her, she made a decision. She would embark on a journey, a voyage around the world. She would see the mountains, the deserts, the forests. She would meet creatures of all kinds, learn their stories, share her own. She would be a traveler, an explorer, a storyteller, and so, with the blessings of her family and the wisdom of the ancient merfolk in her heart, the Little Mermaid began her odyssey. An odyssey that would take her to places she had only dreamed of, that would challenge her, change her, and ultimately redefine her. As the first rays of dawn broke, the Little Mermaid, with a heart full of dreams and a spirit full of courage, began her voyage. The ocean, vast and endless, awaited her, and she was ready. Departure from the Ocean Kingdom. The day had arrived. The sun cast a golden hue upon the ocean's surface, its rays penetrating the depths and illuminating the coral palaces of the merfolk's kingdom. Schools of fish swam in synchronized patterns, their scales reflecting a myriad of colors, creating a mesmerizing dance of light and shadow. In the heart of the kingdom, a grand assembly had gathered. Merfolk from all corners of the realm had come to witness the departure of their beloved princess, the Little Mermaid. The grand hall of the palace was adorned with bioluminescent corals and anemones, their soft glow adding to the ethereal ambience. The Little Mermaid stood at the center, her radiant red hair flowing freely, her tail shimmering with a luster that seemed to capture the very essence of the ocean. Around her were her family and closest friends, her father, the mighty Sea King, with his majestic trident, her grandmother, wise and gentle, her age evident in the pale blue hue of her scales, and her sisters, each beautiful in their own unique way. The atmosphere was thick with emotion. There were smiles, but they were tinged with sadness. There were words of encouragement, but they were laced with worry. The little mermaid's decision to venture beyond their world was a brave one, but it was also fraught with danger and uncertainty. Her youngest sister approached, her eyes glistening with tears. "Do you really have to go?" she whispered, her voice quivering. The little mermaid took her sister's hands in hers, offering a comforting squeeze. "I have to," she replied softly. "The world beyond calls to me. I need to see it, to experience it, to understand it." Her father, the Sea King, cleared his throat, drawing the attention of all present. "My daughter," he began, his voice deep and resonant, "you have always been the adventurer among us. Your spirit, your curiosity, your thirst for knowledge, they have always set you apart. While I worry for your safety, I also understand your need to explore, to discover, to grow. Go forth with my blessing, but remember, the ocean will always be your home. Return to us when you are ready." The little mermaid nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you, Father," she said, her voice choked with emotion. "I promise to return with tales of the world beyond, with stories that will fill our hearts and minds." One by one, her family and friends came forward, offering their blessings, their gifts, their words of wisdom. There were hugs, there were tears, there were promises to stay connected, to share experiences, to never forget. As the ceremony came to an end, the little mermaid took one last look at her kingdom, at her home, the beauty of it all, the love, the warmth, the familiarity. It was overwhelming, but she also felt a pull, a yearning, a desire to see what lay beyond. With a deep breath, she swam upwards, towards the surface, towards the unknown. The ocean waves beckoned, the horizon called, and the little mermaid, with a heart full of dreams and a spirit full of courage, began her voyage. The day had arrived. The sun cast a golden hue upon the ocean's surface, its rays penetrating the depths and illuminating the coral palaces of the merfolk's kingdom. Schools of fish swam in synchronized patterns, their scales reflecting a myriad of colors, creating a mesmerizing dance of light and shadow. In the heart of the kingdom, a grand assembly had gathered. Merfolk from all corners of the realm had come to witness the departure of their beloved princess, the Little Mermaid. The grand hall of the palace was adorned with bioluminescent corals and anemones, their soft glow adding to the ethereal ambience. The Little Mermaid stood at the center, her radiant red hair flowing freely, her tail shimmering with a luster that seemed to capture the very essence of the ocean. Around her were her family and closest friends, her father, the mighty Sea King, with his majestic trident, her grandmother, wise and gentle, her age evident in the pale blue hue of her scales, and her sisters, each beautiful in their own unique way. The atmosphere was thick with emotion. There were smiles, but they were tinged with sadness. There were words of encouragement, but they were laced with worry. The Little Mermaid's decision to venture beyond their world was a brave one, but it was also fraught with danger and uncertainty. Her youngest sister approached, her eyes glistening with tears. "Do you really have to go?" she whispered, her voice quivering. The Little Mermaid took her sister's hands in hers, offering a comforting squeeze. "I have to," she replied softly. "The world beyond calls to me. I need to see it, to experience it, to understand it." Her father, the Sea King, cleared his throat, drawing the attention of all present. "My daughter," he began, his voice deep and resonant, "you have always been the adventurer among us. Your spirit, your curiosity, your thirst for knowledge, they have always set you apart. While I worry for your safety, I also understand your need to explore, to discover, to grow. Go forth with my blessing, but remember, the ocean will always be your home. Return to us when you are ready." The Little Mermaid nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you, Father," she said, her voice choked with emotion. "I promise to return with tales of the world beyond, with stories that will fill our hearts and minds." One by one, her family and friends came forward, offering their blessings, their gifts, their words of wisdom. There were hugs, there were tears, there were promises to stay connected, to share experiences to never forget. As the ceremony came to an end, the Little Mermaid took one last look at her kingdom, at her home, The beauty of it all, the love, the warmth, the familiarity, it was overwhelming. But she also felt a pull, a yearning, a desire to see what lay beyond. With a deep breath, she swam upwards, towards the surface, towards the unknown. The ocean waves beckoned, the horizon called, and the little mermaid, with a heart full of dreams and a spirit full of courage, began her voyage. The vast expanse of the ocean stretched out before the little mermaid, its depths holding tales as old as time. As she prepared to embark on her journey, the weight of her decision pressed heavily upon her. She was not just leaving her home, she was venturing into a world unknown, a world filled with wonders and dangers alike. The merfolk had gathered around her, their faces a mix of pride, concern, and sadness. Among them were her closest friends, mermaids and mermen she had grown up with, played with, and shared countless adventures with. Their bond was deep, forged by shared experiences and a mutual love for the ocean's mysteries. Her father, the Sea King, approached her, his eyes filled with a mix of pride and sorrow. "My daughter," he began, his voice deep and resonant, "you are about to embark on a journey like no other. The world above is vast and varied, filled with wonders you can't even begin to imagine. But it is also a world of challenges, of dangers, of experiences that will test your spirit and resolve." The little mermaid nodded, taking in his words. She knew the risks, but the pull of the unknown, the allure of discovery, was too strong to resist. "Father," she replied, her voice filled with determination, "I promise to return, and when I do, I will bring with me stories, tales of my adventures, experiences that will enrich our world and deepen our understanding of the world above." Her friends came forward, each offering their own words of encouragement and advice. "Remember the lessons of the ocean," one said. "Be like the water, adaptable and resilient." Another added, "Trust your instincts, listen to your heart, and always remember where you come from." The little mermaid listened intently, taking in each piece of advice, each word of encouragement. She knew she would face challenges, but she also knew she had the strength, the determination, and the spirit to overcome them. As the time for her departure drew near, she took a moment to address the gathered merfolk. "My family, my friends," she began, "I am embarking on this journey not just for myself, but for all of us. I want to discover the wonders of the world above, to learn its stories, its secrets, its lessons, and I promise to return to share these stories, these experiences, with all of you." She continued, "The ocean is our home, its depths our sanctuary, but the world above holds promises of its own, promises of discovery, of understanding, of growth. I want to bridge the gap between our world and theirs, to forge a connection, a bond that will enrich both our lives." The merfolk listened in silence, their eyes filled with a mix of pride, hope, and anticipation. They knew the significance of the little mermaid's journey, the potential it held for both their world and the world above. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue upon the waters, the little mermaid took one last look at her home, at the faces of her loved ones, and with a deep breath she began her ascent, her heart filled with hope, determination, and a promise to return. The Caribbean, a mosaic of islands, each with its own unique identity, yet bound together by a shared history, culture, and the rhythmic pulse of the sea. As the little mermaid approached the azure waters of this tropical paradise, she could feel the vibrant energy emanating from the land and its people. Her first glimpse of the Caribbean was the island of Trinidad. As she swam closer to its shores, the distant sounds of steel pan drums reached her ears, their melodies resonating with the very beat of her heart. Curious, she ventured onto the land, her magical pendant allowing her to walk among the humans. The streets of Port of Spain were alive with color and movement. Everywhere she looked, there were people dancing, their bodies moving in sync with the rhythms of the music. The little mermaid was captivated. She had never seen such a display of joy, of unity, of celebration. She was drawn to the music, to the dance, and soon found herself joining in, her body swaying to the beat, her heart filled with happiness. As she danced, she was approached by a group of locals, their faces painted in vibrant hues, their costumes a riot of feathers, beads, and sequins. They introduced themselves as members of a carnival band, and invited her to join them in the festivities. The little mermaid eagerly accepted, and soon found herself immersed in the world of Caribbean carnival. She learned about the history of carnival, its origins in the African and European traditions, its evolution over the years, and its significance to the people of the Caribbean. She learned about the different characters, from the majestic king and queen to the playful Pierrot Grenade and the mysterious midnight robber. She learned about the music, from the traditional calypso and soca to the modern dancehall and reggae. And most importantly, she learned about the dance, the way it connected the people to their roots, to their ancestors, to the very soul of the Caribbean. The Little Mermaid traveled from island to island, each with its own unique flavor, yet all bound by the same love for music and dance. In Jamaica, she swayed to the reggae beats, feeling the message of love, unity, and resistance in every note. In Barbados, she jumped up to the soca rhythms, losing herself in the infectious energy of the music. In Cuba, she was enchanted by the rumba and the salsa, the sensuality and passion of the dance taking her breath away. But it wasn't just the music and dance that captivated her. It was the people, their warmth, their hospitality, their zest for life. Everywhere she went, she was welcomed with open arms, treated like family, and shown the true spirit of the Caribbean. She attended traditional festivals, like the Junkanoo in the Bahamas and the Crop Over in Barbados. She tasted the local cuisine, from the spicy jerk chicken of Jamaica to the rich and flavorful sancocho of the Dominican Republic. She learned about the history of the islands, the struggles and triumphs of their people, and the rich tapestry of cultures that made up the Caribbean. As her time in the Caribbean came to an end, the Little Mermaid was filled with a mix of emotions. She was grateful for the experiences, the memories, the friendships she had made. But she was also sad to leave, to say goodbye to the islands that had captured her heart. On her last night, she attended a beach bonfire, the sky lit up with stars, the sound of the waves providing a soothing backdrop. As she danced around the fire, surrounded by her new friends, she made a promise to return, to once again experience the vibrant culture, music, and dance of the Caribbean. The Caribbean, with its azure waters and sun-kissed islands, has always been a realm of mystery and adventure. For the Little Mermaid, this tropical paradise was not just a place of beauty, but a treasure trove of stories waiting to be discovered. As she swam through the warm waters, she could feel the echoes of the past, the tales of legendary pirates, and the myths of the sea. Drawn by this allure, she decided to delve deeper into the legends that have shaped the Caribbean. Her journey began on the island of Tortuga, once a notorious pirate haven. Here, she met an old sailor named Captain Hector, a man with a weathered face and a twinkle in his eye. Over a campfire on a secluded beach, he regaled her with tales of the infamous pirates who once roamed these waters. He spoke of Blackbeard, the fearsome pirate with a beard so long and wild that it was said to be ablaze with slow-burning fuses; of Anne Bonny and Mary Red, the fierce female pirates who defied societal norms and became legends in their own right; and of the mysterious Captain Kidd, whose buried treasure has eluded many a treasure hunter. But it wasn't just tales of pirates that the Little Mermaid sought. She was equally intrigued by the myths and legends of the sea. Captain Hector, sensing her curiosity, shared stories of the Flying Dutchman, a ghost ship doomed to sail the oceans forever, its phantom crew seeking redemption; of the Kraken, a monstrous sea creature that could drag entire ships to the watery depths; and of the mermaids, creatures of beauty and mystery, who could either be benevolent guides or treacherous sirens. The Little Mermaid listened with rapt attention, her heart racing with excitement. Each story, each legend, painted a vivid picture of a world filled with adventure, danger, and magic. She could imagine the fierce battles on the high seas, the thrill of discovering buried treasure, and the awe of encountering mythical creatures. As the night wore on, the campfire's flames danced to the rhythm of the waves, and the stars above shone brightly, bearing witness to the tales of old. The Little Mermaid felt a deep connection to these stories, a sense of belonging to this world of legends and lore. Before parting ways, Captain Hector handed her a worn-out map. its edges frayed and its surface marked with cryptic symbols. "This," he said with a wink, "is a map to the greatest treasure of all, the stories of the Caribbean. Follow it, and you'll discover tales that will fill your heart and soul." With a heart full of gratitude and a map to guide her, the little mermaid set forth on her quest, eager to uncover the legends of the Caribbean, to experience the magic firsthand, and to share these stories with her kin back home. The Caribbean, with its azure waters and sun-kissed islands, has always been a realm of mystery and adventure. For the little mermaid, this tropical paradise was not just a place of beauty, but a treasure trove of stories waiting to be discovered. As she swam through the warm waters, she could feel the echoes of the past, the tales of legendary pirates, and the myths of the sea. Drawn by this allure, she decided to delve deeper into the legends that have shaped the Caribbean. Her journey began on the island of Tortuga, once a notorious pirate haven. Here she met an old sailor named Captain Hector, a man with a weathered face and a twinkle in his eye. Over a campfire on a secluded beach, he regaled her with tales of the infamous pirates who once roamed these waters. He spoke of Blackbeard, the fearsome pirate with a beard so long and wild that it was said to be ablaze with slow-burning fuses. Of Anne Bonny and Mary Red, the fierce female pirates who defied societal norms and became legends in their own right. And of the mysterious Captain Kidd, whose buried treasure has eluded many a treasure hunter. But it wasn't just tales of pirates that the little mermaid sought. She was equally intrigued by the myths and legends of the sea. Captain Hector, sensing her curiosity, shared stories of the Flying Dutchman, a ghost ship doomed to sail the oceans forever, its phantom crew seeking redemption; of the Kraken, a monstrous sea creature that could drag entire ships to the watery depths; and of the mermaids, creatures of beauty and mystery, who could either be benevolent guides or treacherous sirens. The little mermaid listened with rapt attention, her heart racing with excitement. Each story, each legend, painted a vivid picture of a world filled with adventure, danger, and magic. She could imagine the fierce battles on the high seas, the thrill of discovering buried treasure, and the awe of encountering mythical creatures. As the night wore on, the campfire's flames danced to the rhythm of the waves, and the stars above shone brightly, bearing witness to the tales of old. The little mermaid felt a deep connection to these stories, a sense of belonging to this world of legends and lore. Before parting ways, Captain Hector handed her a worn-out map, its edges frayed and its surface marked with cryptic symbols. "This," he said with a wink, "is a map to the greatest treasure of all, the stories of the Caribbean. Follow it, and you'll discover tales that will fill your heart and soul." With a heart full of gratitude and a map to guide her, the little mermaid set forth on her quest, eager to uncover the legends of the Caribbean, to experience the magic firsthand, and to share these stories with her kin back home. The Mediterranean, a cradle of civilizations, has been a crossroads of cultures for millennia. Its waters, while serene on the surface, conceal remnants of bygone eras waiting to be rediscovered. For the little mermaid, the Mediterranean was not just another sea. It was a portal to the past, a treasure trove of history submerged beneath the waves. As she ventured into the Mediterranean's azure embrace, the little mermaid was guided by tales of ancient cities, lost to time and tide. Her first destination was the sunken city of Thonis Heracleon, off the coast of Egypt. Once a bustling port and a bridge between the Mediterranean and the Nile, it now lay silent, its grandeur preserved underwater. Navigating through colossal statues of pharaohs and gods, she could almost hear the echoes of ancient hymns. Streets that once resonated with the footsteps of traders, priests, and commoners were now pathways for fish and marine life. The grand temples, with inscriptions detailing rituals and offerings, stood as testaments to the city's spiritual significance. Drawn by the allure of Greece, the little mermaid then journeyed to Pavlopetri, believed to be one of the oldest submerged cities. Its ruins provided a glimpse into the Bronze Age. The city's design, with its courtyards, streets, and tombs, hinted at a society advanced in urban planning and architecture. As she swam through the ruins, she marveled at the pottery shards, which once held wine and olive oil, staples of ancient Greek life. Her exploration then led her to the coast of Turkey, to the remnants of the ancient city of Mindus. Here, she discovered submerged walls, towers, and harbors. The city, with its strategic location, bore witness to numerous naval battles, and its underwater ruins held secrets of military strategies and alliances. But it was the sunken city of Baiae, off the coast of Italy, that truly captivated her. Often referred to as the Las Vegas of the ancient Roman elite, Baiae was a resort for the rich and powerful. Its underwater ruins showcased lavish villas, thermal baths, and intricate mosaics. The Little Mermaid, as she swam through the nymphaeum of Emperor Claudius, was entranced by the sculptures of nymphs and gods, their beauty undiminished by time. Throughout her journey, the Little Mermaid was not just an observer. She was a participant in a grand narrative. She touched the ancient stones, read the inscriptions, and imagined the lives of those who once inhabited these cities. Each ruin, each artifact, told a story of love, war, faith, and ambition. As she concluded her Mediterranean exploration, the Little Mermaid reflected on the transience of civilizations. Empires rise and fall, cities flourish and decay, but the sea remains, guarding the memories of ages past. With a heart full of stories and a newfound appreciation for history, she set forth on her next adventure, eager to share the tales of the Mediterranean's sunken treasures. The Mediterranean, with its azure waters and golden shores, has long been a beacon for travelers seeking beauty, history, and culture. For the Little Mermaid, this vast sea was a canvas of experiences waiting to be painted. With her innate curiosity and love for exploration, she embarked on a journey to discover the coastal cities, savor the local cuisines, and immerse herself in traditional dances. Her first stop was the picturesque city of Santorini in Greece. Perched on cliffs overlooking the sea, the city's whitewashed buildings and blue-domed churches were a sight to behold. As she wandered through the narrow cobblestone streets, she was drawn to the aroma of freshly baked spanakopita and moussaka. Sitting at a quaint taverna, she tasted these delicacies, each bite telling a story of generations of culinary traditions. The flavors of feta, spinach, and aubergine danced on her palate, evoking memories of ancient feasts and celebrations. But Santorini had more to offer than just its culinary delights. In the evening, as the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the Little Mermaid was invited to a traditional Greek dance. With the rhythmic beats of the bouzouki playing in the background, she joined the locals in a spirited sirtaki, feeling the joy and camaraderie that the dance brought. From Greece, she journeyed to the coastal city of Valencia in Spain. Known for its futuristic architecture and rich history, Valencia was a blend of the old and the new. The Little Mermaid explored the central market, where stalls brimming with fresh produce, cheeses, and olives awaited. It was here that she tasted paella, a dish synonymous with Valencia. The saffron-infused rice, combined with seafood and rabbit, was a culinary masterpiece, each ingredient telling a tale of the land and sea. As night fell, the sounds of flamenco filled the air. Drawn by the passionate beats and soulful melodies, the Little Mermaid found herself in a dimly lit tavern, where dancers, with their ruffled dresses and castanets, told stories of love, pain, and joy through their movements. Entranced, she joined them, feeling the raw emotions of the dance coursing through her. Her Mediterranean journey then took her to the coastal town of Amalfi in Italy. Nestled between cliffs and the sea, Amalfi was a vision in pastel. Wandering through its streets, she was drawn to the aroma of lemon, a fruit the region was famous for. She tasted limoncello, a sweet lemon liqueur, and relished the tangy and sweet flavors that refreshed her spirit. In the town square, as the moonlight bathed the cobblestones, she was introduced to the tarantella, a traditional Italian dance. With its fast-paced beats and lively steps, the dance was a celebration of life and love. The Little Mermaid, with her grace and agility, was a natural, and soon she was twirling and stomping, her heart filled with the joy of the dance. As her Mediterranean journey came to an end, the Little Mermaid was filled with a myriad of emotions. She had tasted the flavors of the region, danced to its rhythms, and experienced its warmth and hospitality. Each city, each dish, and each dance had added a stroke to her canvas of experiences, painting a picture of a region rich in culture, history, and beauty. With memories to cherish and stories to tell, she set forth on her next adventure, her heart full of gratitude for the Mediterranean and its treasures. The Mediterranean, with its azure waters and golden shores, has long been a beacon for travelers seeking beauty, history, and culture. For the Little Mermaid, this vast sea was a canvas of experiences waiting to be painted. With her innate curiosity and love for exploration, she embarked on a journey to discover the coastal cities, savor the local cuisines, and immerse herself in traditional dances. Her first stop was the picturesque city of Santorini in Greece. Perched on cliffs overlooking the sea, the city's whitewashed buildings and blue-domed churches were a sight to behold. As she wandered through the narrow cobblestone streets, she was drawn to the aroma of freshly baked spanakopita and moussaka. Sitting at a quaint taverna, she tasted these delicacies, each bite telling a story of generations of culinary traditions. The flavors of feta, spinach, and aubergine danced on her palate, evoking memories of ancient feasts and celebrations. But Santorini had more to offer than just its culinary delights. In the evening, as the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the Little Mermaid was invited to a traditional Greek dance. With the rhythmic beats of the bouzouki playing in the background, she joined the locals in a spirited sirtaki, feeling the joy and camaraderie that the dance brought. From Greece, she journeyed to the coastal city of Valencia in Spain. Known for its futuristic architecture and rich history, Valencia was a blend of the old and the new. The Little Mermaid explored the central market, where stalls brimming with fresh produce, cheeses, and olives awaited. It was here that she tasted paella, a dish synonymous with Valencia. The saffron-infused rice, combined with seafood and rabbit, was a culinary masterpiece, each ingredient telling a tale of the land and sea. As night fell, the sounds of flamenco filled the air. Drawn by the passionate beats and soulful melodies, the Little Mermaid found herself in a dimly lit tavern, where dancers, with their ruffled dresses and castanets, told stories of love, pain, and joy through their movements. Entranced, she joined them, feeling the raw emotions of the dance coursing through her. Her Mediterranean journey then took her to the coastal town of Amalfi in Italy. Nestled between cliffs and the sea, Amalfi was a vision in pastel. Wandering through its streets, she was drawn to the aroma of lemon, a fruit the region was famous for. She tasted limoncello, a sweet lemon liqueur, and relished the tangy and sweet flavors that refreshed her spirit. In the town square, as the moonlight bathed the cobblestones, she was introduced to the tarantella, a traditional Italian dance. With its fast-paced beats and lively steps, the dance was a celebration of life and love. The Little Mermaid, with her grace and agility, was a natural, and soon she was twirling and stomping, her heart filled with the joy of the dance. As her Mediterranean journey came to an end, the Little Mermaid was filled with a myriad of emotions. She had tasted the flavors of the region, danced to its rhythms, and experienced its warmth and hospitality. Each city, each dish, and each dance had added a stroke to her canvas of experiences, painting a picture of a region rich in culture, history, and beauty. With memories to cherish and stories to tell, she set forth on her next adventure, her heart full of gratitude for the Mediterranean and its treasures. The Indian Ocean, a vast expanse of shimmering blue, has for centuries been a hub of exploration, trade, and cultural exchange. Its waters have borne witness to the rise and fall of empires, the discovery of new lands, and the weaving of tales that have transcended time. For the Little Mermaid, the Indian Ocean was not just another sea to explore. It was a gateway to a rich tapestry of history, filled with stories of merchants, sailors, and spices. Her journey began off the coast of Zanzibar, an island that once stood as a central point in the spice trade. The air was thick with the aroma of cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. As she swam through the coral reefs, she stumbled upon sunken dhow ships, their wooden structures still intact, bearing silent testimony to the bustling trade that once flourished. Each ship had a story, of merchants who braved the monsoons, of treasures exchanged, and of cultures that met and mingled. Curious to learn more, the little mermaid ventured to the Malabar coast of India. Here, she discovered the ancient port city of Muziris, now submerged but once a thriving center of trade. Roman, Arab, and Chinese merchants frequented this port, exchanging gold for black pepper and other exotic spices. The remnants of ancient wharfs and warehouses hinted at the grandeur of the city in its heyday. As she swam further east, she reached the shores of Sri Lanka, known in ancient times as Serendib. The island was famous for its cinnamon and precious gemstones. The little mermaid explored the underwater caves, where she found inscriptions detailing trade agreements and alliances. She marveled at the intricate networks that existed, connecting distant lands and peoples. Her journey then took her to the Maldives, a chain of atolls known for their natural beauty. But beyond the coral gardens and turquoise lagoons, the Maldives held secrets of its own. The islands were a crucial stopover in the maritime silk route, where Chinese silks were exchanged for Arabian perfumes and African ivory. But it was the tales of sailors that truly captivated the little mermaid. She heard stories of monsoon winds that guided ships, of stars that served as ancient GPS, and of the mythical Sea of Gold, where the waters shimmered with golden hues. She learned of the perilous challenges sailors faced, from pirates to treacherous currents, and of the camaraderie that bound them together. As her adventures in the Indian Ocean drew to a close, the little mermaid reflected on the interconnectedness of the world. The spices that flavored dishes in Europe had their origins in the tropical forests of Asia. The silks that adorned the royals of China were traded for spices in the bustling markets of Arabia. Every grain of pepper, every shard of porcelain, and every bolt of silk had a story, a journey that spanned oceans and continents. With a heart full of stories and a deeper understanding of the world's rich history, the little mermaid set forth on her next adventure, eager to discover more and share the tales of the Indian Ocean's spice trails and ancient trade routes. The Indian Ocean, with its vast expanse and azure waves, has always been a realm of discovery for the little mermaid. But beyond the depths and the marine wonders, it was the shores that held stories of human spirit, culture, and celebration. On her journey through this ocean, she was drawn to the vibrant coastline of India, a land of diversity, tradition, and festivity. As she approached the shores of Kerala, a state in the southern tip of India, she could hear the distant beats of drums and the melodious tunes of traditional songs. Curious, she swam closer and found herself amidst a grand celebration, the famous beach festival of Kerala. The sandy shores were transformed into a canvas of colors. There were stalls adorned with intricate patterns made from colored powders, known as rangoli. These patterns, with their geometric designs and floral motifs, were not just decorative but symbolic, representing the harmony of nature and the universe. The little mermaid was captivated by the Theyam performance, a traditional dance form of Kerala. Dancers, painted in vibrant reds, golds, and greens, donned elaborate costumes and masks, representing various deities and heroes from local legends. The dance was not just an art form but a ritual, a medium through which the performers invoked the divine and narrated tales of valor and virtue. As the beats of the drums intensified, the dancers moved with fervor, their eyes speaking of passion and devotion. But the festival was not just about dance and art. It was a celebration of nature and its bounties. Fishermen, with their wide-brimmed hats and woven baskets, showcased their catch of the day. There were prawns, mussels, and a variety of fish, all ready to be cooked and savored. The aroma of spices filled the air as chefs prepared traditional dishes like meen curry, fish curry, and karimin palichathu, spiced fish wrapped in banana leaves and grilled. The little mermaid, intrigued by the culinary delights, decided to taste some. She was offered neer dosa, soft rice pancakes, with a side of spicy fish curry. The flavors were a revelation: the tanginess of the tamarind, the heat of the chili, and the freshness of the fish, all harmoniously blending to create a symphony of tastes. As the day turned to night, the festival took on a magical aura. Lanterns were lit, casting a soft glow on the shores. Families sat around bonfires, singing folk songs and sharing stories. Children ran around with sparklers, their laughter echoing in the cool sea breeze. The highlight of the night was the Kathakali performance, a classical dance drama of Kerala. With its elaborate makeup, costumes, and expressive facial movements, Kathakali narrated tales from Indian epics. The Little Mermaid watched in awe as the performers brought to life characters like Rama, Sita, and Ravana, their every gesture speaking of love, betrayal, and redemption. As the festival came to a close, the Little Mermaid realized that it was not just a celebration, but a testament to the harmony of nature and culture. The beach, with its golden sands and rolling waves, was not just a backdrop, but a participant, echoing the rhythms of the drums, the melodies of the songs, and the stories of the people. With a heart full of memories and a deeper appreciation for the confluence of nature and culture, the Little Mermaid continued her journey, carrying with her the essence of the Indian Ocean's beach festival. The Indian Ocean, with its vast azure expanse, had always been a realm of wonder for the Little Mermaid. While its shores told tales of ancient civilizations and bustling trade, its depths held secrets of a different kind. As she ventured further into this oceanic realm, she was drawn to the mesmerizing world of coral reefs, nature's very own underwater metropolis. The first reef she encountered was off the coast of the Maldives. As she descended into the clear blue waters, she was greeted by a kaleidoscope of colors. The corals in hues of pink, blue, yellow, and green stood tall and proud like ancient skyscrapers. Each coral structure, with its intricate patterns and designs, was a testament to nature's architectural prowess. But what truly captivated the Little Mermaid were the inhabitants of these reefs. Schools of clownfish darted in and out of the anemones, their bright orange bodies contrasting sharply against the translucent blue of the water. Parrotfish, with their beak-like mouths, nibbled on the corals, their vibrant scales shimmering in the filtered sunlight. Angelfish, butterfly fish, and lionfish, each with their unique patterns and colors, added to the visual spectacle. As she swam further, she stumbled upon a group of manta rays, gracefully gliding through the water. Their large wings, undulating with the currents, seemed like a dance, a ballet performance choreographed by nature itself. She watched in awe as they circled around her, their movements synchronized, their eyes filled with curiosity. The deeper she went, the more wonders she discovered. Caves and crevices formed over millennia housed creatures like the moray eel, with its sharp teeth and piercing eyes, and the octopus, its tentacles moving with a rhythm of their own. She even encountered a school of bioluminescent jellyfish, their bodies glowing in the dark, lighting up the ocean floor like a natural disco. But it wasn't just the visual beauty of the reefs that touched the Little Mermaid's heart. It was the harmony, the balance, and the symbiotic relationships that truly amazed her. The cleaner wrasse, a small fish, would swim up to larger fish, offering cleaning services by feeding on their parasites. The sea anemone, with its venomous tentacles, provided protection to the clownfish, which in return brought food to its protector. As she spent more time in these coral havens, the Little Mermaid realized the importance of these ecosystems. They were not just habitats, but nurseries, breeding grounds, and sources of food for countless marine species. They played a crucial role in maintaining the ocean's health and balance. However, she also sensed the fragility of these reefs. Changes in water temperature, pollution, and human interference were taking a toll on these underwater paradises. Many corals were bleached, their vibrant colors replaced by a ghostly white. The bustling marine life was now sparse, with many species on the brink of extinction. Determined to make a difference, the Little Mermaid decided to be an ambassador for these reefs. She vowed to share their stories, their beauty, and their challenges with the world above. She hoped that by raising awareness, she could inspire change and ensure that the coral reefs, with their vibrant dance of life, continued to thrive for generations to come. The vast Pacific Ocean, stretching from the icy shores of Alaska to the tropical beaches of Australia, was a treasure trove of adventures for the Little Mermaid. Each wave held a story, each island a secret. But of all the tales she had heard, one had captured her heart like no other. the legend of sea turtles surfing the waves of Australia's Gold Coast. As she approached the eastern shores of Australia, the rhythmic sound of waves crashing against the beach beckoned her. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the waters, and surfers dotted the horizon, riding the waves with grace and agility. But what truly caught her eye was a sight she had never seen before. Sea turtles, not just swimming, but surfing the waves alongside the humans. Curious, she swam closer and found herself amidst a group of green sea turtles. These majestic creatures, with their streamlined bodies and powerful flippers, were not just passive swimmers. They were surfers in their own right. With each incoming wave, they would position themselves perfectly, catch the crest, and ride it with a grace that rivaled any human surfer. One particular turtle, whom she later came to know as Tully, seemed to be the leader of the group. With a distinctive scar on his shell and a twinkle in his eye, Tully was a legend in these waters. The little mermaid approached him, and he shared his story. Tully had been surfing the waves of the Gold Coast for decades. As a young turtle, he had been swept away by a strong current and found himself in the company of human surfers. Watching them ride the waves, he had been inspired to try it himself. Over the years, he had mastered the art, and now he was teaching other sea turtles the joy of surfing. The little mermaid, intrigued, decided to join them. With Tully as her guide, she learned to position herself, feel the rhythm of the waves, and ride them with abandon. The sensation was exhilarating. The wind in her hair, the salt on her lips, and the thrill of speed made her feel alive in a way she had never felt before. As the days turned into nights and nights into days, the little mermaid became a part of the surfing community. She would watch in awe as human surfers performed tricks, jumping off the waves and spinning in the air, and in return she would show them the wonders of the underwater world, taking them on dives to explore coral reefs and shipwrecks. But it wasn't just about the thrill of surfing. It was about the bond she formed with the sea turtles and the humans. They shared stories, sang songs, and danced under the moonlight. They spoke of conservation, of protecting the oceans and its inhabitants, and of living in harmony with nature. One evening, as they sat around a bonfire, a local musician strummed his guitar and sang a song about the surfing sea turtles of the Gold Coast. The lyrics spoke of Tully's adventures, of the little mermaid's arrival, and of the magic of the ocean. As the music filled the air, everyone, humans and sea turtles alike, joined in, their voices rising in unison, celebrating the beauty of life and the joy of surfing. As her time on the Gold Coast came to an end, the little mermaid realized that her Pacific encounter was not just an adventure, it was a lesson in unity, friendship, and respect for nature. With a heavy heart, she bid farewell to her new friends, promising to return and surf the waves once again. With the memories of the Gold Coast etched in her heart, the little mermaid continued her journey, carrying with her the spirit of Australia, the joy of surfing, and the hope of a world where humans and marine life coexisted in harmony. The vastness of the Pacific Ocean, with its myriad of islands and atolls, has always been a source of wonder for explorers. For the little mermaid, who had journeyed through many seas and oceans, the Pacific held a special allure. But more than its azure waters and coral reefs, it was the tales of ancient Polynesian navigators that drew her to these waters. As she swam through the warm currents of the Pacific, she came across the islands of Polynesia. Here, amidst the swaying palm trees and golden beaches, she heard tales of legendary navigators who, centuries ago, had traversed these vast waters without the aid of modern instruments or maps. They were the wayfinders, the master navigators of Polynesia. Intrigued, the little mermaid sought out the elders of the islands to learn more. She was introduced to Moana, a wise old navigator who agreed to share the secrets of Polynesian wayfinding. Sitting under the shade of a banyan tree, Moana began her tale. Long before the compass or the sextant, our ancestors navigated these waters using the stars, the winds, the waves, and the flight patterns of birds, Moana began. They believed that the ocean was a living entity, and by understanding its rhythms and moods, they could find their way. Moana spoke of the star paths, the routes mapped out in the night sky. The Polynesian navigators memorized the positions of stars and constellations, using them as guides. They understood the rise and set of celestial bodies, predicting their positions with astounding accuracy. But stars were not the only guides. The wayfinders also read the waves. "The ocean has a memory," Moana explained. "Every island, every atoll creates ripples and currents. By feeling the rhythm of the waves, the wayfinders could sense the presence of land, even if it was miles away." Birds, too, played a crucial role. The flight patterns of migratory birds, especially the frigate bird, indicated the proximity of land. The wayfinders observed their behavior, noting the direction of their flight and the time of day. As Moana narrated these tales, the little mermaid was filled with awe. The art of wayfinding was not just about navigation. It was a deep connection with nature, a bond forged over centuries. It was about understanding the subtle cues of the environment, listening to the whispers of the wind, and feeling the heartbeat of the ocean. Moana then showed the little mermaid a traditional Polynesian voyaging canoe, known as a wa'a. With its twin hulls and a sail made of pandanus leaves, the wa'a was a marvel of ancient engineering. "These canoes were our vessels, our companions," Moana said. "They carried our dreams, our hopes, and our ancestors' spirits." The little mermaid, inspired by Moana's words, decided to embark on a journey aboard the wa'a. With Moana as her guide, they set sail, navigating the Pacific using the ancient art of wayfinding. As they journeyed, the little mermaid felt a deep connection with the ocean, sensing its moods and rhythms. The journey was transformative. It was not just about reaching a destination, but about understanding the journey itself. It was about the harmony between humans and nature, the symbiotic relationship that had sustained the Polynesian wayfinders for centuries. As they returned to the shores of Polynesia, the little mermaid realized that the art of wayfinding was not just a navigation technique. It was a philosophy, a way of life. It was about respect for nature, understanding its signs, and forging a bond that transcended time and space. With a heart full of gratitude, the little mermaid bid farewell to Moana and the islands of Polynesia. As she continued her Pacific encounters, she carried with her the wisdom of the wayfinders, a testament to the indomitable human spirit and its deep connection with the natural world. The Pacific Ocean, with its myriad of islands, each with its own unique culture and traditions, was a treasure trove of experiences for the little mermaid. As she journeyed through its vast expanse, she was drawn to the Hawaiian archipelago, a place where the spirit of aloha resonated in every breeze and wave. But more than the pristine beaches and volcanic landscapes, it was the tales of the traditional luau and the deep-rooted concept of ohana that beckoned her. Upon reaching the shores of Maui, the little mermaid was greeted with the fragrant scent of plumeria and the soft strumming of ukuleles. The island was abuzz with excitement as preparations were underway for a grand luau that evening. Curious and eager to immerse herself in the local culture, she decided to attend. As the sun began its descent, casting the sky in hues of pink and orange, the luau commenced. The rhythmic beats of the pahu drums echoed through the air, setting the pace for the evening. Dancers adorned in vibrant costumes with feathered headdresses and grass skirts took to the stage, their movements telling tales of ancient Hawaii, of gods and goddesses, of love and war. But as the evening progressed, it became evident that the luau was more than just a feast and performance. It was a celebration of ohana, the Hawaiian concept of family. The word ohana means family in the Hawaiian language, but its significance goes beyond just blood relations. It encompasses extended family, friends, and anyone else who is considered close. In Hawaiian culture, ohana is at the core of one's being, emphasizing the importance of bonding, respect, and mutual support. The little mermaid, seated among the locals, felt the warmth of ohana. She watched as families, spanning multiple generations, laughed, sang, and danced together. Children played with their grandparents. Cousins shared stories of their adventures, and friends, old and new, celebrated their bonds. The atmosphere was electric, filled with love, joy, and a deep sense of belonging. As the feast was laid out, she realized that even the food told tales of ohana. The traditional dishes, from the kalua pig cooked in an underground oven to the poi made from taro, were prepared with love and care, each recipe passed down through generations. Sharing a meal, she learned, was not just about satiating hunger. It was about coming together, sharing stories, and creating memories. As the night deepened, an elder took to the stage. With a voice that carried the weight of years and wisdom, he spoke of the importance of Ohana. In this ever-changing world, he began, where distances grow and time seems fleeting, Ohana is our anchor. It reminds us of who we are, where we come from, and the bonds that tie us together. It teaches us to love unconditionally, to support one another, and to cherish the moments we have. The little mermaid, deeply moved by the elder's words, reflected on her own journey. She realized that her adventures across the oceans and seas were not just about exploring new places. They were about finding her own Ohana, building connections, and understanding the universal language of love and family. As the luau came to an end, with the stars shining brightly overhead, she danced with the locals, her heart full of gratitude. She had not just attended a traditional event, she had experienced the heartbeat of Hawaii, the spirit of Ohana. With memories of the luau etched in her heart, the little mermaid continued her Pacific encounters, carrying with her the lessons of love, family, and the importance of cherishing every moment. The little mermaid's journey had taken her across vast oceans, through myriad cultures, and into the heart of countless legends. Yet, as she swam back towards the Atlantic, there was one mystery that beckoned her with an irresistible pull: the Bermuda Triangle. Spanning between the points of Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, the Bermuda Triangle has been the subject of intrigue for centuries. Ships disappearing without a trace, aircraft vanishing from radar, and tales of magnetic anomalies have made it a subject of both scientific investigation and mythical speculation. As the little mermaid approached the enigmatic waters, a sense of anticipation filled her. The ocean here felt different, deeper, older, and teeming with untold stories. She decided to begin her exploration at the very heart of the triangle, near the sunken city of Atlantis, a place some believe to be the epicenter of the triangle's mysteries. The ruins of Atlantis were breathtaking. Towering pillars, grand amphitheaters, and intricate mosaics painted a picture of a civilization that was both advanced and harmonious. As she wandered through the ancient streets, she felt the echoes of laughter, debates, and music. But amidst the beauty, there was also a palpable sense of melancholy. The city, with all its grandeur, was a testament to the impermanence of civilizations. In one of the grand halls, she met an old sea turtle named Orion. With a shell covered in barnacles and eyes that held the wisdom of ages, Orion was known as the keeper of Atlantis' secrets. Intrigued by the little mermaid's quest, he shared tales of the Bermuda Triangle. The triangle, Orion began, is not just a patch of ocean. It's a portal, a gateway between realms. He spoke of ships that had sailed into the triangle, only to emerge centuries later, their crews untouched by time. He told tales of pilots who, while flying over the triangle, had seen visions of ancient civilizations and futuristic cities. But the true mystery of the triangle, Orion whispered, lies in its depths. He spoke of underwater vortexes, powerful currents that could pull anything into the abyss. He talked of caves with walls lined with crystals that emitted strange frequencies, disorienting anyone who ventured close. The little mermaid listened, captivated. The Bermuda Triangle was not just a geographical anomaly. It was a tapestry of tales, each thread weaving a story of adventure, mystery, and wonder. Determined to experience the triangle's mysteries firsthand, she ventured into one of the crystal caves. Inside, the play of light created mesmerizing patterns, and the hum of the crystals resonated with her heartbeat. Time seemed to stand still, and for a moment she felt connected to every ship, every plane, every soul that had ever ventured into the triangle. As she emerged from the cave, the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle felt both unraveled and heightened. She realized that some enigmas are not meant to be solved. They are meant to be experienced. With a heart full of stories and a soul touched by the triangle's magic, the little mermaid continued her journey, carrying with her the tales of the Bermuda Triangle, a reminder of the ocean's endless wonders and mysteries. The vast expanse of the Atlantic had always been close to the little mermaid's heart. It was her home, the place where her adventures began. As she made her way back to these familiar waters, a new wonder awaited her, the ethereal beauty of the northern lights. The North Atlantic, with its icy waters and towering icebergs, was a stark contrast to the warm currents of the Pacific and the vibrant coral reefs of the Indian Ocean. But this cold, seemingly desolate region held a magic of its own. As winter approached and the nights grew longer, the skies above the North Atlantic came alive with a mesmerizing display of colors. One evening, as the little mermaid rested on a massive iceberg, she witnessed a spectacle that took her breath away. The horizon began to glow with a faint green hue, which gradually intensified, painting the entire sky. Waves of green, pink, purple, and yellow danced across the heavens, their reflections shimmering in the waters below. It was the aurora borealis, the northern lights in all its glory. The little mermaid had heard tales of this celestial phenomenon from old sea creatures and sailors. They spoke of the lights as spirits of their ancestors, dancing in the skies, watching over them. Some believed that the lights were a bridge to another world, a realm beyond the reach of mortals. As she gazed up at the swirling colors, the little mermaid felt a deep sense of connection. The lights, with their ever-changing patterns, told a story of the universe's vastness and the mysteries it held. Each hue, each wave, each burst of light was like a note in a cosmic symphony, a song of the ages. She remembered her adventures, the places she had been, the cultures she had experienced, and the friends she had made. The northern lights, in their infinite beauty, seemed to encapsulate all her journeys, all her memories. It was a moment of reflection, of gratitude, of understanding the interconnectedness of all things. Hours passed, but the little mermaid remained transfixed. The cold of the iceberg, the chill of the wind, none of it mattered. She was one with the universe, a tiny speck in the grand tapestry of existence. As dawn approached and the lights gradually faded, the little mermaid dove back into the waters, her heart full of wonder. The northern lights, she realized, were not just a natural phenomenon. They were a reminder of the magic that exists in the world, of the beauty that can be found in the most unexpected places, and of the endless possibilities that life holds. Her journey through the Atlantic, and indeed through the oceans of the world, had come full circle. From the depths of the Bermuda Triangle to the heights of the Northern Lights, she had seen it all. And as she swam towards her ocean kingdom, she carried with her the stories, the memories, and the lessons of her travels, ready to share them with the world. The vast Atlantic Ocean had always been a sanctuary for the little mermaid, a place where memories ebbed and flowed like the tides. As she swam through its familiar waters, the weight of her adventures across the world pressed upon her heart. Each ocean, each culture, each legend she had encountered had left an indelible mark on her soul. But the Atlantic held something even more profound, memories of a love once lost. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the waters when she saw him. A silhouette against the horizon, the familiar contours of his face brought a rush of memories. It was the prince, the very man whose love had once led her to give up her voice, to walk on land, to yearn for a life beyond the ocean's embrace. Their eyes met, and for a moment time stood still. The world around them faded, leaving just the two of them, suspended in a moment that felt both like an eternity and a fleeting second. The prince, now a king, had aged, but his eyes held the same warmth, the same depth that she remembered. They swam towards each other, and as they embraced, the years melted away. The pain of their separation, the longing, the heartbreak, all of it was washed away by the ocean's gentle waves. They spoke of their journeys, of the paths they had taken since they last met. The king spoke of his kingdom, of the challenges he faced, of the loneliness that came with leadership. The little mermaid shared her adventures, the wonders she had seen, the lessons she had learned. As the night deepened, they found a quiet cove, sheltered from the world. Here, under the canopy of stars, they reflected on love and life. The king spoke of his love for her, a love that had never waned, even as the years rolled by. He spoke of the nights he spent staring at the ocean, wondering where she was, hoping that she was safe. The little mermaid, her voice soft and melodic, spoke of her love for him, a love that had driven her to make unimaginable sacrifices, a love that had been her guiding light through her darkest moments. But she also spoke of the love she had found in her travels, the love of cultures, of legends, of the very essence of life. They spoke of the nature of love, how it evolves and changes, yet remains constant. They reflected on the choices they had made, the paths they had chosen, and the lessons they had learned. They realized that love was not just about being together. It was about understanding, about growing, about finding oneself. As dawn approached, they knew that their time together was limited, but they also knew that their love, a love that had withstood the test of time, would never fade. They promised to cherish the moments they had, to hold on to the memories, to always remember the love they shared. With a final embrace, they parted ways, the king returning to his kingdom, the little mermaid continuing her journey. But as she swam away, she carried with her the warmth of their reunion, the reflections on love and life, and the knowledge that true love, no matter the distance, no matter the challenges, always finds its way. The vast expanse of the ocean stretched out before the little mermaid, its familiar waves welcoming her like an old friend. The journey had been long, filled with wonders and wisdom from across the world. But now, as she approached the coral gates of her ocean kingdom, a rush of emotions engulfed her. The joy of homecoming mingled with the bittersweet realization that her grand voyage had come to an end. The kingdom was abuzz with excitement. Word had spread of the little mermaid's return, and the entire ocean realm had gathered to welcome their beloved princess. From the tiniest shrimp to the grandest whale, every creature waited with bated breath to hear the tales of her adventures. As she entered the grand hall, the little mermaid was greeted with a sight that warmed her heart. Her family, the king and queen, her sisters and her childhood friends, all gathered in a grand assembly. Their eyes sparkled with pride and curiosity. The little mermaid began to share her stories, each tale accompanied by a souvenir she had brought back. There was the intricate Polynesian necklace that spoke of ancient navigation techniques, the shimmering fabric from the markets of India that told tales of vibrant festivals, and the tiny vial of sand from the Caribbean, each grain holding the secret of pirate legends. But more than the souvenirs, it was the way the little mermaid told her stories that captivated her audience. With every tale, she painted a vivid picture, transporting her listeners to far-off lands, making them feel the desert's heat, the mountain's chill, and the forest's mystery. Her stories were not just recounts of her adventures. They were lessons in courage, kindness, love, and understanding. As she spoke of the northern lights, the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, and the warmth of a Hawaiian luau, the Ocean Kingdom realized that their princess had returned not just with stories and souvenirs, but with a new perspective. She spoke of the importance of understanding different cultures, of the bonds that connect all living beings, and of the endless wonders that the world holds. The Little Mermaid's tales went on for days, and with each story, the Ocean Kingdom grew richer in knowledge and wisdom. The young mermaids and mermen listened with wide-eyed wonder, dreaming of their own adventures, while the older ones nodded in understanding, their hearts filled with pride for their princess. But amidst the tales and celebrations, there were quiet moments too. Moments when the little mermaid would sit with her family, sharing private stories, laughing at shared memories, and cherishing the bond that only families share. As the celebrations came to an end, the little mermaid realized that her journey had changed her in ways she had never imagined. She had left as a curious young mermaid, eager to explore the world, and had returned as a wise and compassionate leader, ready to guide her kingdom into a new era of understanding and harmony. The Ocean Kingdom, too, had changed. Inspired by the Little Mermaid's tales, they began to explore their own world, forging bonds with neighboring kingdoms and celebrating the diversity and beauty of the ocean realm. And so, as the sun set on the horizon, casting a golden glow over the Ocean Kingdom, the Little Mermaid looked out at her home, her heart full of gratitude and love. She realized that while the world was filled with wonders, there was no place like home. The ocean realm had never seen such splendor. Word of the Little Mermaid's return had spread like wildfire, and creatures from every corner of the seven seas had journeyed to be part of the grand celebration in her honor. The coral palaces shimmered in anticipation, and the very waters seemed to hum with excitement. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a twilight glow over the kingdom, the festivities began. Bioluminescent jellyfish floated gracefully, casting a soft, ethereal light over the gathering. Schools of fish, their scales reflecting a myriad of colors, swirled in intricate dance patterns, creating a mesmerizing spectacle. The grand coral amphitheater, carved by generations of skilled merfolk artisans, was the center of the festivities. Here, a stage had been set, and as the Little Mermaid took her place, a hush fell over the assembly. She was resplendent, her tail shimmering in shades of blue and green, her hair adorned with pearls and rare ocean gems. The celebration was a tapestry of performances, each more enchanting than the last. The dolphins, known for their acrobatics, put on a display of synchronized jumps and spins, drawing gasps of wonder from the audience. The octopuses, with their unparalleled flexibility, showcased a dance that told tales of ancient ocean mysteries. But it wasn't just about performances. The celebration was also a confluence of cultures. Sea creatures from the icy waters of the Arctic mingled with those from the tropical coral reefs. Ancient turtles exchanged tales with young, spirited seahorses. It was a testament to the Little Mermaid's journey, a reflection of the diverse world she had explored. As the night deepened, the festivities reached their zenith. A group of whales, the maestros of the ocean, began their song. Deep, resonant notes echoed through the waters, a melody that spoke of the ageless beauty of the seas. And then, joining them, the Little Mermaid began to sing. Her voice, clear and melodious, rose in harmony with the whales, creating a symphony that touched the very soul of every creature present. The song spoke of her adventures, of the wonders she had seen, of the lessons she had learned. It spoke of love and loss, of courage and hope, of the endless quest for knowledge. And as the final notes faded away, there was a moment of profound silence, a collective introspection, as every creature reflected on the journey of life. The celebration continued till the early hours of the morning, a night of joy, reflection, and unity. And as dawn broke, casting the first rays of light on the ocean kingdom, there was a sense of contentment, a realization that the world was vast, filled with wonders. But home, with its familiar comforts and loved ones, was where the heart truly belonged. The Little Mermaid's homecoming was not just a celebration of her return. It was a celebration of life, of the bonds that connect us all, of the stories that shape our existence. And as the sea creatures dispersed, returning to their homes, they carried with them the memories of a night that would be etched in the annals of ocean history forever. The vastness of the ocean kingdom stretched out before the Little Mermaid, its familiar contours and rhythms echoing a lullaby of memories. As she swam through the coral archways and past the shimmering schools of fish, every nook and cranny whispered tales of her childhood, of innocent games and age-old legends passed down through generations. Her journey across the world had been nothing short of magical. She had danced with the northern lights, delved into the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, and surfed the mighty waves of the Pacific. She had tasted the spices of the Indian Ocean and listened to the ancient songs of the Mediterranean. Every ocean, every wave, every grain of sand had told her a story, had shown her a world beyond her wildest dreams. But as she ventured deeper into her kingdom, a profound realization washed over her. The world was vast, filled with wonders and mysteries waiting to be discovered. Yet there was an inexplicable magic in the familiar, in the stories that had shaped her, in the lullabies that had cradled her to sleep. She remembered the nights when she would sit with her grandmother, listening to tales of brave merfolk and cunning sea witches. She remembered the thrill of her first swim, the joy of discovering a hidden treasure, the comfort of being surrounded by loved ones. These memories, these moments, were the threads that wove the tapestry of her life. As she swam past her childhood home, she saw her younger siblings playing, their laughter echoing the same melodies of her own youth. She saw her parents, their faces lined with the wisdom of the ages, their eyes still sparkling with the same love and pride. And she realized that while the world was vast and diverse, there was no place like home. Home was not just a place, it was a feeling. It was the warmth of a familiar embrace, the comfort of a well-known melody, the joy of shared memories. It was the place where she could be herself, where she was loved and cherished for who she was, where every corner held a story, a memory, a piece of her heart. The little mermaid's journey had taken her across the world, had shown her the wonders of the universe. But it had also brought her back to herself, to her roots, to the place where her story had begun. And as she looked around, as she felt the pulse of the ocean, the rhythm of her kingdom, she knew that she was home. Her adventures had given her a new perspective, a deeper appreciation for the world and its wonders. But they had also reinforced a timeless truth, that while the world is vast and diverse, filled with wonders and mysteries, there's no place like home. For home is where the heart is, where the soul finds its anchor, where the journey truly begins and ends. And so, as the sun set on the horizon, casting a golden glow over the ocean kingdom, the little mermaid swam through the familiar waters, her heart filled with gratitude, love, and the profound realization that no matter how far she traveled, no matter how many wonders she discovered, there was no place like home. The little mermaid's journey had been a whirlwind of experiences, a tapestry of emotions, and a treasure trove of memories. From the vibrant festivals of India to the ancient ruins of the Mediterranean, from the Polynesian navigation techniques to the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, she had witnessed the world in all its splendor and diversity. But as she settled back into the rhythm of her ocean kingdom, a profound realization dawned upon her. The true beauty of her journey wasn't just in the places she had visited or the wonders she had seen. It was in the myriad cultures she had encountered, the countless stories she had heard, and the diverse people she had met. Every culture, she realized, was a unique piece in the vast jigsaw puzzle of humanity. Each had its own traditions, its own beliefs, its own way of looking at the world. And yet, beneath these differences lay a common thread, a shared humanity that bound everyone together. The vibrant dances of the Caribbean weren't just a form of entertainment. They were a celebration of life, a testament to the indomitable spirit of its people. The ancient ruins of the Mediterranean weren't just remnants of a bygone era. They were a window into the past, a glimpse into the lives and beliefs of ancient civilizations. The Polynesian navigation techniques weren't just a means of travel. They were a testament to human ingenuity, to our innate desire to explore and discover. The little mermaid realized that to truly understand the world, one had to look beyond the surface, beyond the obvious. One had to delve deep into the heart of each culture, to listen to its stories, to understand its beliefs, to appreciate its traditions. For it was only by understanding and appreciating different cultures that one could truly appreciate the beauty of the world. And this understanding, she realized, was more important now than ever before. In a world that was becoming increasingly interconnected, where cultures were constantly interacting and influencing each other, it was essential to foster a spirit of understanding and appreciation. For it was only through understanding that one could build bridges, forge connections, and create a world that was united in its diversity. The Little Mermaid's journey had been a personal one, but its lessons were universal. It was a reminder that the world was a mosaic of cultures, each unique, each beautiful in its own right. It was a call to celebrate this diversity, to embrace it, to learn from it. For in understanding and appreciating different cultures, one wasn't just enriching oneself, one was enriching the world. As she shared her experiences with her ocean kingdom, the Little Mermaid hoped that her stories would inspire others to embark on their own journeys of discovery, to venture out into the world, to meet new people, to experience new cultures, to listen to new stories, and in doing so, to create a world that was not just tolerant of differences, but celebrated them. For in the end, the world was not just a collection of places, it was a collection of stories, of experiences, of memories, and it was only by understanding and appreciating these stories that one could truly understand and appreciate the world. In conclusion, The Little Mermaid's journey was a testament to the importance of understanding and appreciating different cultures. It was a reminder that the world was a beautiful mosaic of diversity, and it was this diversity that made it truly special. It was a call to action, a plea to everyone to embrace this diversity, to celebrate it, to learn from it. For in doing so, one wasn't just creating a better world for oneself. One was creating a better world for everyone. In the heart of the vast ocean kingdom, nestled among coral palaces and shimmering seaweed forests, lived the Little Mermaid. Known for her insatiable curiosity and radiant spirit, she was the embodiment of youthful exuberance. Her days were filled with playful swims among the fish, listening to tales of old from the wise sea turtles, and dreaming of the world beyond her watery realm. But as the tides of time ebbed and flowed, so did the currents of her heart. The vastness of the ocean, once a playground, began to feel like a cage. She yearned for more, not just to see the world beyond, but to understand it, to immerse herself in its myriad cultures, to learn from its timeless tales. And so, with a heart full of dreams and a spirit yearning for adventure, the Little Mermaid embarked on a journey that would forever change the course of her life. Her initial travels were filled with wonder. Every new place brought with it a rush of excitement, every new culture a treasure trove of discoveries. From the bustling bazaars of the Indian Ocean to the serene shores of the Mediterranean, from the mysterious depths of the Bermuda Triangle to the vibrant vibes of the Caribbean, the world was her oyster. But as she ventured further, the Little Mermaid began to realize that travel was not just about discovering new places, it was about discovering oneself. With every new experience, with every challenge faced, she grew, not just in knowledge but in character. The once naive princess, who believed in fairy tale endings, now understood the complexities of life. She had seen the world in all its glory and its grief. She had witnessed the beauty of love in the Mediterranean, the resilience of spirit in the Caribbean, the wisdom of age in the Pacific, and the courage of heart in the Indian Ocean. Her interactions with diverse cultures taught her the value of understanding and empathy. She learned that while traditions and beliefs might differ, the essence of humanity remained the same. She realized that true wealth was not in material possessions, but in experiences, in memories, in the bonds forged with others. But perhaps the most significant transformation was in her understanding of home. The world had been her playground, her teacher, her guide. But the ocean kingdom, with its familiar rhythms and comforting lullabies, was where her heart truly belonged. It was the anchor that kept her grounded, the compass that guided her journey. As she returned to her ocean realm, the Little Mermaid was not the same person who had left. The curious princess had evolved into a wise and worldly traveler. Her eyes, once filled with wonder, now sparkled with wisdom. Her heart, once naive, now held the experiences of 1,000 lifetimes. Her tales of adventure inspired the young and the old alike. They spoke of the importance of stepping out of one's comfort zone, of embracing the unknown, of learning from every experience. But they also spoke of the importance of roots, of remembering where one came from, of cherishing the memories of home. In conclusion, the Little Mermaid's journey was not just a physical one, it was a journey of the soul. It was a testament to the transformative power of travel, to the lessons learned from diverse cultures, to the growth that comes from facing challenges. But most importantly, it was a reminder that no matter how far one travels, no matter how many wonders one witnesses, home is where the heart is. And it is this realization, this understanding of the true essence of home, that marked the Little Mermaid's evolution from a curious princess to a wise and worldly traveler.